Hi guys, welcome to DanCorp Software. Today we're going to show you a compare and contrast of entering items in an array versus entering items normally through memory. So let's get started. Alright, so first things first, these right here are the items or values basically that we are going to enter. So what I'm doing essentially is making a shopping list with 5 items, and with each item a price is attached. So for item 1 example, the price is going to be $12.59, item 2 is $24.95, and so on. This block of code is basically our calculator, so it'll calculate the subtotal, sales tax, and total sales cost of the items combined. So this line in particular calculates item 1 plus item 2 plus item 3 plus item 4 plus item 5, and then we'll get a subtotal from that. It'll then transfer over to the sales tax function, which will take this solution that we got in the first line and multiply it by the sales tax rate, which I declared up above here, which is a constant. And here in the state of Texas, that's 8.25, and so this is just a decimal form of that. So from there, it takes that, multiplies it, and then you get the sales tax. To get the total sales output, all we're going to do is just take the subtotal from all 5 items, add it to the sales tax, which was this times the sales tax rate, and that'll give us the total sales costs. This portion right here of my code is basically just to display out to the console, and this is just for our reference. This line right here that says we are now outside of the array, jumping down one, we see one that says subtotal, which will then display the subtotal, which is this right here. So this is basically going to be the cost of our items pre-tax. Jump down another line and we see total sales. This is going to be the cost of our items post-tax, and so that's going to be after basically we multiply the subtotal by the sales tax rate and get the total sales. Okay, so that is your traditional method, entering items into memory, having a particular block of code calculate everything for you, and then displaying it all to the screen. Now, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the way we enter it via array. So let's go ahead and dive into this here. So with the hope of simplifying the idea of arrays, I've brought it down to 3 simple steps for you guys. Step 1 is going to be declaring the array. So right here on the top right above int main, we're going to go ahead and declare it, and in this particular case I've named the array that I created my array, and it's of type void. Into my array I list what I'm going to pass in, and we'll get to that later on in the video, but this is just an example of what I'm passing into the array in order to make it calculate and give me an output. So next up, we're going to dive into main, the main function. First we see the sales tax rate, which remains constant, and that is 8.25%. This is just a decimal form of it. And next up, we identify the array as a double, and think of this little number in the square brackets as slots of memory. So every time we talk about arrays, we're going to arrange them in slots of memories, and we always start from 0 and go up to whatever number that the case may require. So in this particular case, we only did 5. Previously I'd showed you guys item 1 through item 5. So in this case, there's 5. Starting off from 0, we'd end up at 4. So with array 0, we assign the same value that we did here with item 1. And we go on and on and on to do that for each of the arrays. So this leads us to our second step of the 3-step process, and that's going to be passing values. And so right here in this particular field, we call the array my array, and then we're going to pass two values into this array. One of those values is going to be the array, which is this entire chunk of code right here, which holds the price of each item basically. And the second value we're going to pass in is going to be the sales tax rate, which is going to be this right here, just a percentage we're going to tack on to get our total price. So now that we've done that, we can leave in main as a function and jump to a completely different function which I've created down here. And that's going to be, this is going to be my array, and it's of type void. Right here we basically add in our own variables. In this case it's going to be the array and the sales tax, and that notice you guys that this varies from this right here because we are now in a different function and you can change up names. And guys, this is the last of the 3 steps, and this is one that we call getting the output. So basically, before we dive into exactly what this does and how it relates to our previous statements right here, I'm going to go ahead and explain what this particular red circled section was built to do. So this little block of code here at the bottom is built specifically for giving us output. And so its job is to calculate everything that we've entered here, which we'll go over in very shortly, and it passes these 3 values right back to the main function. And so that's step 3, getting our output. This particular line of code is just for our reference, just so that when we print it out to the screen we can tell which one came from the array and which one didn't. So starting from number 0, the first item, we're going to add that to the second item. And remember, keep in mind that in arrays we always start from the number 0. Go on to the third item, which in the array is array number 2. Go on to the fourth, which is 3, and go on to the fifth, which is 4. And then I used array 5 as just kind of a placeholder for this right here, which is going to be subtotal. They both do the same exact thing, it just stores all this into memory, and in this case it's called subtotal. In void my array it's called array 5. Same case with array 6. So the sales tax is going to be array 6, and we have already sent sales tax into array 6 right here. So I typed in sales tax rate. That's a constant, so it's already carrying a value. It's going to be down here, and basically all it does is just assigns it to the 6th slot in memory. Same goes for array 7, but this time array 7 is going to stand for total sales in this right here. So array 5 times array 6, array 5 was the subtotal, array 6 was the sales tax. That's going to give us a value, and then we're going to go ahead and add on array 5 to that value, and that'll give us the total sales. So now that it returns that value, we can go up here and we can call out console out array subtotal, and that's going to be array 5, which was in this case the pre-tax sale price, and array total sale, which in this case was going to be the post-tax sale price, and it was stored in array 7. So let's go ahead and run the program so you guys can kind of get an idea. So now that it's finished compiling, this first line right here is we are in the array, which is a separate function entirely, but it does show up first because we called it first right in this line. So the array subtotal is going to be 63.69. That's the pre-tax price. The post-tax price is going to be 68.62 of all the items. And so now we can pass on to the outside of the array the normal way to do it basically, to some of you new programmers out there. The subtotal is going to remain the same as inside of the array. The total sale is also going to remain the same. So this video is basically just created to show you guys that you don't necessarily have to do everything inside of int main. You can always take it outside of the function and just call it, and it tends to get a more organized, cleaner look to your program, and also can allow your program to run more fluid, more smooth, and just an overall cleaner program. Once again, thanks you guys for watching. Stay tuned for more videos. Have a great day.